But let me just first speak about Sister Judy, and then I'll come to Mani Didi as well. So all of you are aware of Sister Judy. She's been with us on this for many times now. This is the sixth episode. She herself has been in knowledge for almost 35 to 40 years. She's a facilitator herself and a coaching consultant in experiential learning. And she's an author of 5 books. I won't be going in the details of those. And as we speak, she coordinates the activities of the Brahma Kumaris in the Atlantic region of Canada. So welcome, Sister Judy. Thank you so much for joining. And, and also, we have a very special guest with us, Mani Didi, all the way from UK. She's visiting Vancouver at the moment. So today, in place of Sister Claudia, she'll be doing the official welcoming for Sister Judy. So over to Mani Didi.
Om Shanti. Very good morning. We just finished beautiful Murli. And yes, I've known Sister Judy from very beginning, I would say, but last few years we have become so close and we have lots of interaction. And I was thinking that, Baba gives everyone a gift. And today Baba was saying that, you children will get bored if you listen to the same thing. So Baba comes and tells us every day something new, and we really, really enjoy the Murli. And so I think, Judy, you have claimed that inheritance from Baba, that you come all the time with newness in the family. And, you really serve the world in that way. You travel a lot and you give that experience of newness to everyone. And so actually it was my opportunity, my good fortune to start my Rakhi with Halifax family, and I had such a wonderful time. And your new idea about this newness, we're going to tie Rakhi from here, then wherever you will go, we'll make another tie of Rakhi, another tie of Rakhi, another tie of Rakhi. So I've collected garland of the Rakhi of entire country. So tomorrow we're going to have actually big Rakhi in Vancouver family. And then day after tomorrow, I will be heading towards to Toronto and again one more Rakhi. So it will become big garland of Rakhi. Such an auspicious event, pure event. I was just saying that today's Murli was accurate for Raksha Bandhan. Actually, today's Raksha Bandhan. And all over the world, Baba's children are celebrating Raksha Bandhan. But I would like to welcome and thank you very much for all these new ideas, newness. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Oh, Mani Ben, this is me giving these flowers to you. Let's hold them together, yes?
Yes, yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, what a lovely way to start the day. Now I'm totally absorbed in good energy thanks to you. You are that sponge, Mani Ben. You just little tiny squeeze and out comes goodness and benevolence, and it doesn't even take a squeeze. It's just there always. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Such a blessing to start the program with.
Thank you.
Really my fortune. Thank you. Om Shanti. So those who are not in Canada, Mani Ben has been doing a cross-Canada tour tying Rakhi, and that's not so much so many places as so many kilometers, so many miles. Such a big country. And actually, at this point, she probably knows the country better than any of us, because she's been to every center and met every one of Baba's children. And so met every one of those regular students here in the center. So anyways, our wonderful fortune. Thank you, Mani Ben.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to the team for hosting, as always. I checked with them how the art series is going, and I was told it is seriously going well. So that's good. And I'm hoping it's also artfully going well, that you are being light and artful in an earnest endeavor to absorb these arts of living. And I like very much this art that we're doing today, the art of absorbance. It's just such a funny word. In English, it's not really a word we use very often. And I'm sure that must be true in your languages as well. Love to see in the chat box from others the words that you use. As well as absorbance. I was thinking in English, do we use other words for this? And I thought, well, maybe imbibe. I thought maybe integrate. I thought maybe assimilate. But I couldn't, it's an odd word, absorbance. I'm wondering, just in the chat box, and I probably won't be able to read it, accommodate. That's nice. Yeah, that might work. No, but it's different, isn't it? It's different than accommodate. There's something very different about this word absorbance. And even in English, the word integrate implies I'm doing something. The word imbibe, I'm actively doing something, assimilate, I'm actively, but somehow absorb can be happening even when I'm not intentional about it, because the soul is always absorbing, right? So actually, I have to be quite attentive to what is automatically being absorbed by the soul. And I have to put myself between all the sources that come in and what I want to keep in the inner sanctum, the inner chamber of the soul. And so this is the art, is managing that flow. So what I'm taking in and what I'm getting rid of, because I do not want to absorb. I listened to Sudha Ben's class last week. It was just absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed it. And I'm sure all of you did as well. And it got me thinking about some experiments we could do today, since we're on the reflection part of the journey today. And so, as you recall, actually, no, let me tell you a little story. I had 3 lovely absorbance experiences this morning. Before Maniben arrived in Halifax, which I think is maybe 2 weeks ago now. Seems forever, but it was quite recent, it was such a filling time. But we at the center, we went out and we bought new towels. And they were nice towels. And towels are meant to absorb. And we bought slightly better towels. We bought the better quality. We were thinking, and just this morning, I pulled out one of those better quality towels and I put it in the place to wash the hands. And I went to dry my hands and I realized, oh, it just swiped across the surface and my hand was still wet. And this super, slightly more expensive, it was quite an expensive towel, did not absorb anything. I thought, well, that's not how it's supposed to be, So that was one experience with absorbance, is when it didn't work. It was quite unsatisfying. It left me, So I was thinking of how much, we go to God, we go into our meditation practice to absorb all the stuff we don't want, right? We got to absorb it and get rid of it. But then I had 2 lovely experiences absorbing. And one of them is I went for my walk. I always go for a walk after morning class, and Maniben knows exactly the route I went on. I went a little bit longer today, but same route, beautiful trees, but there was a lot of sun. And as I was walking, I could feel the sun on my face. I could feel the warmth, and I could feel myself absorbing the sun and almost imagining vitamin D going into my body, but the warmth was there. And as I was walking, I had my headphone in and I was listening to Mohini Didi and Brother Charlie having a conversation last night. And by the time I was walking down the street, people started waving at me, smiling at me, and I realized I was just smiling. So, together with the physical sun that I was absorbing and the beautiful energy between these two souls who were talking together, I was absorbing all of that lovely energy. And as I was walking, I was just smiling. I felt so light. I felt so happy. And I thought, this is the art of absorbance, to keep myself constantly in an energy vibration that lifts me up inside, right? That makes me feel light, uplifted, happy. So we have to be aware of what we are absorbing, and we make choices about absorbing the best. But Sudhaben already has shared most of that with you because she really dug into this last week. So for this, our reflection session, I'd like to ask you a few reflection questions and then do a little experiment with you. So as you recall, we do this art. We start with an awareness, which is what was last week, just becoming aware of the art in question, the art that we're examining and studying and absorbing. And then we go into a bit of a deeper realization, which is this week. The reflection session takes us into a deeper realization for ourselves personally. And then we take it with us. So we have a homework assignment that we take with us. And then next week, when you come back for the workshop, you have a chance to share your experiences with each other and reflect and talk about it. So today we'll begin just a quick little reminder of the awareness. And Sudha Didi had said very clearly, the soul is like a sponge. And so I'm always absorbing something. So what I'm doing now is paying attention to what is the quality of what I'm absorbing. Because what I'm absorbing will either clean me out and uplift me and make me feel good, or it will clog the soul. It will darken or congest my inner world. So this is the choice I'm making. And I think Sudhaben did a really nice job explaining that. So let's go into the realization part. She mentioned last week a number of things that we're absorbing. She talked about food, when we're eating, what's our state of mind cooking, what's our state of mind when consuming. She talked about the body, the sense organs, absorbing from the world. And she mentioned news, gossip, even the company I keep and what kind of attitude or vibe that company has, and any negative energy. So I'm going to invite you now. I hope you've got pen and paper for this reflective session that we're having today. I'm going to invite you. These are just a few of what Sudhaben talked about, but I'm going to invite you to write down for yourself. Just take a moment and reflect for yourself. What are you absorbing? And if you can, do a plus and a minus list on your piece of paper. So you have a plus on the top and a minus on the top. And I want you to do just a quick scan. So on the plus, where are you absorbing positive energy right now in your life? Do a quick list of top 5, maybe. So this is for us to get to know ourselves better, have some realizations for the self. So positive. As a sponge, the soul, where are you absorbing positive energy right now in your life? Write down the top 5, maybe. Okay. Anyone would like to put maybe 2 of your best where you're absorbing positive energy into the chat box so we can all see? I know for myself, it's definitely in meditation. I'm absorbing from God. I know it's the good company I keep. I'm always absorbing sort of the virtues of those around me. Yes, and spiritual reading for me also, or listening to classes like Charlie this morning. Yeah, nice. And also for me, walking in Mother Nature and the quality of food preparation. I'm really attentive to the quality of preparation for the food. So that's for me. So let's see for others. So many here so far, lots on the study, the spiritual input. This is where you're getting absorbing positive energy. Great. Anything else for people? I like this, Manoj, by the company of pure souls. That's lovely. So you're absorbing some of their vibrations, meditation, churning in isolation, just on your own, like solo churning. Thank you, Raj. And Deb's gardening. Yeah, that's like me going on my walks. Being with nature. Beautiful. Okay, any others? I mean, that's a short list, God's company, and it's copyrighted. God's company is copyrighted there, I see. It's actually available for everyone. Meditation from Gita, lovely. And when I visit a BK center, lovely, Subhas, very nice. And the company of God, right. So, all right. So now this will be private. I won't ask you to share this. In your negative column, if you can now just bring your awareness to where is it that you're absorbing negative energy right now? And again, it can be something that's just happening automatically without you even noticing. But I'm asking you to notice now because we want to shut that. We want to shut that entryway. So just have a quick, right, where are you absorbing negative energy? Now, you don't have to share this one if you don't like, but I would say, I don't know, Nanda, if you pop that one in there to the negative column, but I definitely know for many it's the news. It is media where we're just absorbing, even if we're not trying to, the negative news comes to us. Yeah, from news channels, I'm seeing that for others as well. I know when I asked a small group this question the other day, the number one source of negative energy that was being absorbed was from our own thoughts, our own critical or judgmental thoughts about self or others, including the news. So when I have an outrage or a reaction or an anger response, it's usually, my own thoughts or feelings are triggered, and that's the energy that I'm absorbing. Wasting time. Yeah, very good. And another one that someone said the other day was other people's moods, being around people, and that was the number one absorption source or problematic absorption. It's just being around people who are in bad moods or who are negative, and even though you're not wanting to, you're absorbing that energy. So those are the main ones that I heard. And I think what I'm seeing here is a very similar response. All right. So we have to do something about this, right? But let's explore a little bit further now. So we know what we're absorbing. Now the question is, what happens to you when you absorb this energy? This is a realization. So I'm going to invite you to do a little experiment with me. I have a couple of dark colored markers here, and they're going to represent sort of dark energy. And I also have this very absorbent paper towel with me. Do a little experiment here. And I have placed this absorbent paper towel on a clipboard with plastic behind it. And I have these little markers, and I'm going to just put little dots. Imagine this is a pure and beautiful white soul, but it's a bit like a sponge, so it absorbs things. And I'm going to just put the little black dots onto this in relation to some of the negative energies that we can absorb in the world around us. But to do this experiment, it will be very important that you just observe, do not absorb. Okay, because I'm going to say some words that I think, well, that are quite negative, and they are the energies in the world around us right now at this time. And it comes to us through news, through friends, gossip, conversation. It's just there in the atmosphere. But we have to be very careful not to absorb it. So I'm going to say about 10 words, and each one of those words will describe a negative energy in the world. And I'll put a little dot on our absorbent sponge here, our absorbent towel, paper towel. But I invite you not to absorb these energies as I speak them. Be in the practice right now of being an observer. Don't absorb, okay? Because even saying the word, we can absorb it, right? Because words have energy in them. It's very important. So I'm just going to say a few words. So let's say, and your job, observe, do not absorb. Okay, so I want you to observe yourself, and I want you to observe what happens inside of you as I say these negative energies, as I speak them aloud. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do the first one, would be anger. Lots of anger in the world right now, even anger inside of us. Yeah. Hatred. Lots of that in the world right now. Greed. Lots of that. Corruption. Disheartenment. Fear. Despair. Are you observing, not absorbing? Just check yourself. Are you feeling heavy with any of these words? Okay, just check that you're observing, not absorbing. Okay. Hopelessness. Definitely, I see a lot of that around. Let me see what else. Blame. Lots of blame. Jealousy. Revenge. Depression. Oh my God, I'm beginning to feel it. You're not feeling it, are you? You're not feeling it. Not absorbing. Okay, you're observing. Right. All right, now just stop for a moment and check to see, how do you feel hearing these energies? How do you feel as you heard them? So you were invited to observe, not absorb. Just check and see, how do they make you feel? If you're observing and not absorbing, then there would be no feeling, correct? But check, there may have been a little absorption happening. And if you feel any heaviness at all, okay. So now I have this beautiful, clean, clear, pure background of the soul, a fresh paper towel ready to absorb. And I think you can't see, this has already gone through the back and onto my thing. Okay, but here, now let's do some positive things. And I have some bright and beautiful colors here. So let's see. And this time you can absorb. Okay, open the gates to the soul and absorb every one of these. Okay, so here we go. Love. I'm going to put pretty colors on my page, on my sponge. Okay, happiness. Kindness. Are you absorbing? Your job is to absorb. Are you absorbing? Kindness. Okay, respect. Sweetness. Honesty. Are you absorbing? Honesty. Okay. What else? Lots of nice ones. Courage. I mean, we could go on and on and on. All the virtues there are in the world, all the positive innocence, gratitude. So now just check yourself. If you were absorbing, how would you feel? How do you feel? How does it make you feel when you're absorbing? And happiness, as my notified. So, did you feel the same in both? No. Right. We were more light, happy, lovely when we were absorbing these, correct? So what were we feeling with this one? We were just making sure we didn't take anything in, right? But our default programming is this. So somehow, if we weren't feeling this, then something was getting in. Or our attention was so focused on keeping this out that we weren't experiencing this. That's how subtle absorption is, right? It's so subtle that if I'm even a little bit dull inside, I know I've absorbed something. I might not know where or how, but I've absorbed something because my natural state of being is this, right? So, little experiment. Many of you may have heard this story. Do you know the story of someone who's walking down the hall and they've got a cup of coffee and they bump into somebody and the coffee spills all over them and the person gets upset and says, "Oh, you spilled my coffee," and the response is, we can only spill what's in our cup. So if you had clear water in your cup and you got bumped by life, clear water would fall on your clothes and it would be fine, no problem. But if you had a dark staining material like coffee in your cup, then of course that's what's going to spill out. So whatever we have absorbed, even without noticing it, will spill out. So when life bumps into me, or there are storms and it gets rainy and it gets a bit messy out there, and I happen to have these dark bits that I didn't even know I was absorbing, then what happens? It begins to spill out all over, doesn't it? Because that's what I had in me. In the same token, when life bumps into me, or someone bumps into me, or an accident or an event occurs, then if I have this within me, then what spills all over the place? This. Right? So whatever the soul absorbs, it's going to be spreading it all around. And without knowing it, and the interesting thing about this is you see how it's still dripping? Even a little tiny black dot can drip for a long time. Yeah. So the absorption, and look what it's done. It's made a big mess behind here. So we'll have to clean all that up. So which am I creating in my inner world is very much dependent on what I'm taking in. I think Sudha made a really good case of this last week. So the art of absorbance is to learn to absorb only that which brings benefit. Such a big thing, such an ever attentive task, really, to master the ability to discern what I allow to influence me and to choose to observe without absorbing, to make that practice very strong in me, to observe without absorbing. So I absorb what's helpful, what uplifts me, what adds energy, what makes me smile, what keeps me buoyant. And I leave aside the energy that's negative or sad, sorrowful, that brings me down. So this is the art of absorbance. I want to have a beautiful inner world that's bright and colorful, beautiful, and this not live inside of this kind of picture in my mind, right? So this is the art of absorbance. So how do you know what you're absorbing? We just did a little experiment here. And I'll invite you to write this down for yourself. How do you know which of these positive, negatives, these two energies you're absorbing? What's your indicator? Love to see it in the chat box. I know for me, I'm getting more discerning, and I can tell certainly I can tell when I'm not happy, but I might think I'm okay, and actually I'm just a little bit dull. So I get better at discerning the difference. Oh, if I'm even a little bit dull, I've absorbed something somewhere. So my standard for happiness is getting higher, and I can tell the difference now. So let's see. Manoj Bhai says, through dreams. Ram Kumar, that's how he can tell. Interesting. That's your indicator. Very nice. And Manoj Bhai, through your state of mind. But so what is it, your first clue? What do you have to notice in your state of mind that tells you maybe you've absorbed something negative without wanting to? And Gita is onto the happiness index. Me too. Yes, so a little disturbance. Okay, a little disturbance. Yeah. Irritation. Yeah, that's a really good first indicator that you've absorbed something from somewhere, because really it's not about them or that. It's about I've absorbed something and it's triggered that little bit of darkness still in me. Sue says, I can tell when I'm irritated for no reason. Very good. And Deepak, relaxation index. Oh, that's nice. So how cool or calm or relaxed you are or not. So tension, any little bit of tension would be an indicator for you. Very good. All right. We need to know this. So importantly, as we notice, and Sudha raised this last week, as soon as you notice that you're absorbing something that you do not want to absorb, you have to detach from it. You have to kick it out of your inner world. And she called it squeezing out. You've got to squeeze it out. And her suggestion was that you do it throughout the day. And indefinitely, she said, at the end of the day before sleeping. And I loved what she said. We don't want to have a sound sleep, a sleep full of sound. We actually want to have a soundless sleep. In other words, we want to have a silent sleep. We want to have a sleep full of love and good energy where we are actually soaking in regenerative energy. So I'm refreshing myself. So on your paper now, if you could write down what is your practice for squeezing out. So the minute you catch in your mind, oh, I think I must have absorbed something. How do you squeeze it out? What do you do inside yourself to get out, to remove from inside of you any energy you have absorbed? So take a minute and reflect for yourself. What is your practice for squeezing out? And get practical with it. So for self-talk introspection, lovely, Manoj. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say traffic control for me, but what do I do in traffic control? In that every hour on the hour, we have the little pause, and I quickly just reset to pure inside, peaceful, beautiful. I know what the energy inside me at the very core feels like. I go there quickly. And it's when I return from that pause that I can see the distance, oh, that wasn't the mood I entered, that moment of silence with. Very helpful. Cancel with a proactive thought. Nice, Gita. Yeah. So immediately redirect the mind to a positive thought. Very good. Very good strategy. Any other practices out there for squeezing out? Check and correct and traffic control. Great. So check and change. Redirect. Besides meditation, I also go to nature. I write to God and I go on my own. I go for a drive and play music. Nice, Denny. So you just change the channel, right? Change the channel to something else. Very good. And you've got the input. So either writing, which is an output expression, Anuban, positive, kind dialogue with the self. Bring my heart to peace. Self-love, self-acceptance, simply letting go of the negative absorbance and not wanting to absorb it, to let it stay with you. Gita's got a night journal. Very good, Gita. And sometimes in our night journal, we might write stuff that we're letting go of, but we have to make sure before we close that book and sleep that I've actually let it go. I haven't just written it and embedded it more deeply in myself, right? Yeah. And Potamail, what is that now? Sue, maybe you could explain that?
Upamail is the writing, the night journal, actually, having a talk in the night at the end of the day.
Okay, recall. Okay, nice. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So we need practice, right? We need a squeezing practice. And in this moment, if you can reflect on your own squeezing out practice, we'll call it check and change, reset practice, how effective it is for you. So we can always refine our practices. If you've got a practice and maybe it's gone a little bit, it needs a little more attention, how could you refine that? So just think, how effective is your squeezing out practice? Good, simple language. Squeezing out practice. I have a squeezing out practice. Every day I squeeze out the negative energy from self. Sometimes we want to get a closure when others are involved. I release that. Oh, lovely, Anu. Release the expectation. Free yourself from expectation. That's a wonderful thing. End of the day. And then you do have a soundless sleep. Okay, so now some questions. Since this art is a capacity that we are building in the self, and of course, We learn as we go. We get better at this as we go. And sometimes we carry negative energy for much longer than we need to. Sister Mohini was talking last night, actually, with Charlie. She was saying, I love joy and happiness. She said, some people love sorrow. They really like to stay in sorrow. She said, sometimes something happens in the morning and they spend the entire day sulking. They spend the entire day in the energy of what happened in the morning. So that would mean they have absorbed that negative situation or the energy from that situation, but they're holding it all day. So they haven't released it. So, what is your capacity to absorb the best and leave the rest? Take a moment and just check yourself. What is your capacity to absorb the best? And it would be like this, and leave the rest. Because if you're absorbing the best and you're absorbing the negative, then you're sort of at neutral. This is where dull can be. You're not unhappy, but you're not happy. You're just kind of flatline. That means you're probably doing a lot of effort to absorb the best, but you're also, without maybe paying attention, absorbing the rest as well. And so you're kind of neutralizing the benefit. Yeah, Gita says getting better day by day. I would hope that for all of us, it's getting better day by day, of course. And just check yourself, check your capacity, because that's what this art is about. Okay, another reflection question. And I'm going to ask you just to let an automatic response come to you and write it down. Okay, so here's another reflection question. What helps you absorb good energy? Since clearly we want to maximize the positive absorption. What helps you absorb good energy? So just see what comes to your mind as an immediate response to that question. What helps you absorb good energy? Because with lentils or mung beans, you cannot sprout them until you have done what? You have to soften the outer shell, correct? To enable the seed to absorb the water. If you don't soak them, they don't absorb. Right? We have to soften the outer shell. So what helps you absorb? We've got some nice answers here. An open, pure heart. A calm environment. Nice. Let it go, says Sue. A clean and pure mind. So keeping yourself clean and pure. Elevated company of the Supreme. So we all come to this art of absorbance a little bit protected. We have our own armor on, all of us. And sometimes it's frustrating. We can't even see the armor. We can't see the hard shell around myself that is blocking. It's not allowing me to absorb the goodness, the beauty, the wisdom, the divinity that is in my environment, that is in my study, that is in my meditation. So I have to remove that protective coating, just like the lentils need to soften the outer shell. And as many have said, really it comes down to an open heart, honest, pure intention, and thanks to Anuben, no expectations. I will frustrate myself. So I have to let down the armor. I have to soften myself so that I can receive and absorb the love that is always coming to me from God. That I can receive and absorb the beautiful energy of virtues that everyone around me has, even though I might be seeing a defect. That might be my relationship with that person, that's all I can see. But in fact, there are many, many virtues there. For me to be able to absorb the positive energy, I need to soften. Right? So what do? We have to absorb spiritual. We have to absorb pure energy from the spiritual sun. We can only do that when we open our hearts, right? And our aim here is when I am full of good energy, I cannot absorb negative. So if I'm only half full, then the other half could be filled with the negative energy from the news. And then I'm at a bit of a dull kind of flat line. Being so full of the positivity I have absorbed in meditation, in my study, connecting myself to God, to the energy of the highest being, it washes away any negativity in me, the way the ocean washes away the sand. So more and more and more absorption of good energy washes away anything negative I have accumulated. My attention is increasing the absorption of positive energy. Our aim is very simple. I want to absorb as much light as I possibly can right now. So I put myself on an absorption program, a light absorption program, so that I will have so much light inside of me that when the darkness comes, I am going to shine like fairy lights. That's our aim, right? Absorb as much light as I possibly can right now. Look at Sophie's face and hungry. You're just covered with light right now, Sophie. It's so beautiful to see. The whole half of your face is covered with light. You're just shining bright, right? The sun shining in on you. So our aim is to absorb as much spiritual light as we can, so that we are so full of light that when the inevitable darkness comes of a challenge, that we have so much light in us that we just sparkle like fairy lights. So that's our aim. I'm going to invite you now for a quick little meditation before we end, to recall a time when you were absolutely absorbed in God's love. You are absolutely absorbed in pure energy, in divine love, in spiritual beauty. I would like you just to close your eyes for a moment and remember that experience. Feel your inner world just filling with light. Even your body and the soul. As you sit in the memory of that time, I'd like you in this moment to name 3 qualities that are your own positive qualities. 3 that there's no debate. These are just qualities that happen to be inside of you and always have been. Just name them in your mind. 3 beautiful qualities that are yours, the soul. I would like you just to soak for a moment in these qualities, in God's light, and absorb the energy of this goodness and beauty, your own goodness and beauty. Take a deep breath in. Feel yourself light and lovely inside. You're going to carry this energy into your day after our announcements. But I'll invite you now for the last step of our art process, taking it with you to master this art. I'd like you to set an intention for yourself this week to be absorbed in God's loving light and absorb maximum light during the day. So take a moment and just set an intention for yourself. You don't even have to think of how you will do this, but just set an intention right now. Eyes closed. I will absorb light this week. I will absorb light this week. I am absorbing light in this moment. I am absorbing light in this moment. Now, just take your mind into a situation this week, a common situation where perhaps you are not absorbing light, you are absorbing darkness. Maybe an encounter with negative virtues, whatever, negative vibrations, whatever. I want you to see yourself in a situation where you are challenged to stay in the light. And I want you to put yourself there in your mind. And I want you to see yourself in that situation and say to yourself right now, this is going to help you when that moment arises. Say to yourself right now, I am absorbing light in that situation. I am absorbing light. Visualize yourself absorbing light in a challenging situation. So, as we leave here today, the homework assignment, maximize your light absorption and make sure you have a plan for how you will protect yourself from absorbing unwanted energies and squeeze it out as soon as you possibly can. Acha. Om Shanti.
It's amazing. It's so wonderful. Miss Judy, I hope Brother Manoj is with us, or I don't know.
Please, I'm with you. I don't know, for some reason my video is switched off suddenly. You carry on, please.
Okay. So I think wonderful. So many methods that we got today, and that is so vital, very important that we miss out. So maybe this will be the, like, I'm speaking for all, this will be the vote of thanks. I'm sure we all got so many points to take home for the homework. I loved is that you said it becomes levels out, and you feel dull when you may be making a lot of effort to absorb good energy, and unknowingly you don't even notice you are absorbing negative as well, and it is plus minus cancel. So I'm always constant in a lower state. So I love that. And so many methods to bring attention to what I am observing, the negative. Also, I loved it that when I'm full of good energy, I a motivating point for this, all of the homework that will take on. and that hard protective layer we have to discover, find out what is that I hide behind of it, and then I cannot germinate, I cannot bring out the light out. So I think fantastic session today, like every point is to bring out a light that is there inside. But so can't thank you enough, Sister Judy. I'm sure each one of us are feeling the same, and we'll take it on. And as we also in the workshop, we go deeper or give more time. So we look forward for the next week.
Thank you, Anuban. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really lovely to be able to do this with all of you. I feel like I'm with my brothers and sisters playing, playing with some of these things and seeing where we go with it. So thank you for letting me experiment.
Brother Manoj is also he loved it as he showed, but actually you have created this book, and honestly, like wonderful material that we need to grow, to be in our highest, that free spirit. So experimenting with you is the wonderful fortune we have. So before we end, we have quick announcement and a photo. Maybe we can go for photo first. I know we are almost right in time. Everybody can open their video, and I'm sure you're very enthusiastic to take on the homework. You'll bring out your light beautifully shining out. So still time.
Everyone.
Video.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful to see everyone. Oh, there's Luciana in Brazil. Lovely.
See everybody behind their veil. Mouth.
So nice. So nice.
Okay, so quickly, just the announcement, same thing like we just talked. We will have our workshop, and we'll go deeper into reflection of this whole thing that we learned today, as well as the last session. So please join us 16th of August, Saturday, 7 a.m. same time, 1 hour, 15 minutes, if enough time for ourselves, interactive discussion, and we'll also have the silence retreat, what we want to absorb like a little child. So in the silence, we'll also internalize whatever we learned and experience. So that is on Saturday, 23rd August. As we say, it is for BK students because of that principles that we learn or we follow, but it is for everyone as the focus on what we learned throughout the whole 4. So everybody's welcome. Please join us then. And you can write to us at valuesforlifeseries@gmail.com or vancouver@ca.brahmakumaris.org, as well as all the videos are uploaded on our YouTube channels. So check us out there. And I think before ending, maybe a song. Can I play? Judy's sister, do you have a minute?
Chasing after shells, where the power to fly within no longer dwells. Hungry for love, the shadow cast is dark. true heart, the art of dancing in the mind, as the silent mantra once again we find, like a shadow lifted from our very soul, as the link of love begins to take control. The mirror of illusion is no more. The travelers stand again upon the shore, a journey that has taken us so very far, from a world of mortals to a shining star. True heart, we can never be apart. I don't want it any other way. Sweet song, a soundless chant that lingers on. A fire of love creates the golden day. True heart, we can never be apart. I don't want it any other way. Sweet song, a soundless chant that lingers on. A fire of love creates the golden day. True
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Sister Judy.